Hello, hello, hello. And on today's daily unblocker, I want to talk about playing small. Now, let's be honest. If I think of all the time that I have played small, you know what? I could really win an Olympic gold medal for it. Okay? How many of you can relate with me? How many of you have been playing small that you can also earn a gold medal if it was a sport? If it was a sport on Olympic, right? We all play small. Why do we play small? Why? Have you ever asked that? Now when I say that, what do I mean by play small? You know what I mean is the moment when you dim your light just enough so no one gets uncomfortable or no one notices you. I in the beginning when I didn't know English, I used to mute myself. Not because I didn't know, I told myself I didn't know. So playing small comes in many versions, right? You play safe. That was my safety. Muting myself was my safety. What are you doing playing small, and what do you do to protect yourself by calling it a safe thing to do? We make ourselves smaller. Everybody else is better, bigger, can do better than me, except me. Maybe you can relate to this. Maybe. And you pretend you don't want so much, and you don't want to be seen, right? Then we call it humility, right? When we do this. But is it? This is really something we have to talk about. There's a lot of us who play small. It's not just me who can win this Olympic sport, right? If it was, there's many of us we do it. So today we're going to talk about the block of playing small. Why do we do it? What is the cost of it? And how to step back into rhythm of your real size. Like we all have our own size. We don't have to play too big, but we could play our soul size. We all have our own soul size. So that's what I want to talk about today. So the block here is playing small is self-protection, right? As I said, I muted myself when I was young. That was self-protection of me saying, if I don't speak, no one will know I don't know the language. Very good plan, right? And some of us do that protection disguised as humility. We shrink to avoid rejection or judgment, or sometimes outshining others. So, why do you play small? What is your block? Is it you're avoiding rejection, judgment, or outshining others? Because it is a self protection. So, for me, when I muted myself, it was rejection for sure, but also judgment. Guess what I realized? Not not that long ago, just a few years back, I realized that I used to think this judgment was controlling me all the time. Maybe it does, maybe yourself as well. I realized that it's not that others are judging me that was the problem. It was me judging others was the problem. I was the judge. When I realized that I am the judge, I did a ritual to get rid of it from my life and my system. Everything shifted because then no longer anyone was judging. And even if they did, I didn't even care. You know who cares about the judgment more than anyone else? Is when you are a judge. When you judge others. That's what I learned. I learned that. And since that day, I don't have anyone judging me because I stopped judging everyone. So Playing small starts with, what is it? Rejection, protecting from rejection, self protection from judgment, or thinking that you're going to outshine someone else. So here's the shift that I want to bring to your awareness. Recognize that playing small doesn't protect you, it actually punishes your potential. Let me say that again. Playing small doesn't protect you. That's what I thought too. We all think that, right? What it does, it punishes your potential, right? Your system learned to equate visibility with danger, right? We think visibility is dangerous. So, how do we get back into flow? This is the shift I want you to recognize, that you playing small is punishing your potential, it's not protecting you. So, how do we get back to flow? Safety and visibility can coexist. They're beautiful things. Safety and visibility can coexist. Now, months ago, you won't see me here like this on a video because safety and visibility did not coexist. Now it does. It's a big difference. When you root in safety instead of approval, expansion feels natural again. So I want you to remember this. When you root safety, when you root in safety instead of approval, because we don't need anybody's approval, you just be yourself. Just live your potential. You live your potential, I live my potential. We can stop playing small. That expansion feels natural again. So here's the thing, nobody starts small because they lack potential. Nobody lacks potential. We all have it. We have it stored. It's our stored potential energy. We need to express it, right? We need to move it into what we need to do. But if we keep playing small, we cannot do that. We start small because once upon a time, we got punished. Maybe, right? Because for me, why did I start playing small? Because I decided that that was my protection, right? So playing small happens to everyone. It doesn't just happen to me, it doesn't just happen to you. Every one of us, certain seasons, certain part of our life, play small. And then when we know that visibility and safety can coexist, and when we can recognize that playing small doesn't protect us, it actually punishes our potential. If we're punishing our potential, how can we expand and express our soul, what we're here for, what our purpose is, right? So I have someone here I want to bring to the stage. Thank you, Lori, for joining me because I love to have visitors on this
Oh, thank
blocker. This
you for
is
inviting me. Thank
amazing.
you. What
Awesome.
an important topic you're talking about tonight.
I
Yes.
know. I know.
Love it.
Have you played small, Lori?
Are you kidding me? That's been my whole when you invited me, I thought, oh my gosh, this is my topic because um it's been my whole life theme, right? I've always been playing small. I've always been the mm, shall I say, weird one in my family, right? I've been the one that understands math and art and not math. I've
Oh,
been the one that's been like, you don't understand your times tables? What's wrong with you? Right? The weird one kind of. I'm the one that's more creative. I'm the one that thinks differently. I'm the only one that has started a business in my family. And so yeah, I feel like my family has always been, play small, or, it's okay. It's okay if you stay in your comfortable job, in your comfortable position, in your comfortable like little box, and that's okay. And I've always thought, no, I've always thought, no, I like pushing out of the box. Like, no, I need more. I feel like there's more to offer. There's more of me. There's more that I can give this world. And I'm not going to play small anymore. So I think it was with you maybe a couple years ago that I just realized, no, right? No, I'm not going to play small anymore. So thank
What
you
was
for
the
inviting
shift?
me.
What was the shift? Like for
What was the
me,
shift?
I told you, right? I
Yeah.
was sharing with them my story before you shared. I was sharing before you came in. Like
Uh-huh.
I muted myself when I was young, right?
Right.
So my that was my protection. I realized that if I don't speak, no one will know how much English I knew, right?
Right.
What a great plan. It's
Yeah.
excellent plan, right? So I was my muting incident came out because my teacher, ESL teacher, saw the potential in me that I couldn't see at that age, and she said, "I know you can speak. Speak."
Right.
And she
Right.
said, "You can speak. I know you can." So I needed to hear somebody say that, right? Then it allowed me to speak, and that's how I started speaking
Right.
in public because it was afraid. So if she hadn't seen the potential, I would have always blocked my potential, right? So tell me, what was your shift?
Well, that's first, I just want to say that's amazing that teachers have that power over
Yeah.
our students and that ability to make change. I love that about your story. And I've heard that a few times, and I just love that about your story. I think my shift was just meeting you and joining your program and realizing that, first of all, I didn't even know what a coach was, right? I was like, what is this coach? Like, yeah, soccer coach, baseball coach. I know those things. I had a swim coach, but realizing that, wow, we can learn how to learn, and we can take control of our neurons, and we can be um, powerful leaders for the students, our coachees that we work with. And I think that's when I started to realize a shift. Like, I don't have to play small anymore. I can be that leader. I can create that shift. I can, like you were just talking about your teacher that did that for you. But even outside of the classroom, I can do that. I can have that one-on-one time. So as we've talked about as we talk about in our coaching, that individualized, customized, personalized, that one-on-one, and that beautiful moment that you can give your students when you say, yeah, you can do this. And whatever, scenario it is, for you, it was muting. For others, it might be math. For others, it might be reading. For others, it might be just even opening up and blossoming. That's when I realized, yep, I don't have to play small anymore. That was so freeing. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, it was so
So
freeing.
what you created is a calm environment for that coachee to open up, right? So
Mhm.
they didn't feel that there will be any rejection. They
Mm.
didn't feel that you will have any judgment. And they didn't feel like they're outshining anyone. They're just expressing their potential, right? We are allowed to express our potential.
Mm. Through connection, it really has happened. So that was all before I started coaching. And then after coaching, yeah, I realized the connection when you're making those bonds with those students, when you're really like sharing your lives and your some of you might not know, but Coheal always talks about these students take up real estate in your brain, and they do. I wake up at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, whatever it is, and I think about my student, and they don't know it, but I know it. And when I meet them, I've already been thinking about their situation or their problem or their whatever we're working on. And it's beautiful. It's something that I always longed for in the classroom, and I just never had it. You don't have that time, right? When you have 20, 30. I had 100, and I think I counted 120 students a day teaching middle school. So, right, I saw lots of
Mhm.
kids a day. So 120 a day. I didn't have that time to have that one-on-one connection. And I longed for that. I longed for that. In fact, I would give up my lunch hours just to meet some of my students during lunch so that they could talk to me one-on-one. And even then it was what, 15, 20 minutes. And so it's beautiful. It's beautiful to have that time with them and share that connection. Yeah.
So both of us have overcome
Mm.
playing small, right?
Mhm.
And staying shrinking. Because when
Mhm.
we're playing small, we shrink.
Mhm.
We start downplaying our wins or our potential, right? Because
Mhm.
we don't want to share it, right? We hesitate to share,
Mm.
right? And biting the tongue, biting your tongue. Like
Mhm.
you cannot say what you're feeling, right? Because I need to play small. So if you're watching us and thinking, I don't have this or I'm not, how would one know they're playing small? What do you think? How would
For
one know
me,
they're playing small? Yeah.
for me it was for me it was really family oriented, right? So my family would say things like, "Oh, you shouldn't start a business," or, you should just teach and get your 401k and be safe, right? Or um yeah, that was actually the biggest one actually, but for me, playing small also felt like, I think you and I are very similar. We both wanted to end our lives. For me, it was later in my life when I was in college, and I felt like in college I was very much playing small. I was just doing the right thing and checking the boxes, but I felt like empty inside. So I think it started with the emptiness, but then as I got more mature and thought, okay, yeah, I'll do the right thing, right? I'll get a job and I'll get the 401k and I'll do the right thing. And I won't push the boundaries, like I said, out of the box. But once I started to go out of the box, my family would say, no, no, you really need to get your 401k, be safe, play small, in a comfortable zone. And I never felt comfortable in that comfortable zone. So I think that might be a big cue of playing small is if what the advice you're getting is not comfortable, then you might want to look out what's outside of the box. What is uncomfortable, but yet serving the mission, right? That's what I
Mm.
also saw is like, I need to serve the mission. I need to serve the mission that you exhibit, and I need to serve the mission of my heart, right? Like, what does my heart say, and what does God say, and where am I going? And so, yeah, when I felt like the box I was in was not comfortable, that's when I felt
And
like,
I love it. I love it.
yeah,
That's what I had too. To close this today, I had that about we were we're never meant to fit into other people's comfort zones.
right,
We're meant to expand into our own, right? We're
right,
meant to expand into our own. So we need to take up the space that
right,
our soul want to express into, right?
yeah,
And playing small doesn't um, keep you safe, right? It doesn't keep you safe. It keeps you unseen. Like if I played that game, if my teacher didn't see the potential and she didn't look into my eyes and say, I know you can speak, I wouldn't be talking today on this. Like right now, I can't talk because I would have carried that all my life into my adulthood. Because
yeah.
I needed somebody to see the potential because I couldn't see the potential at that time. I can't because I'm stuck. I blocked myself, right?
Mm.
From
Mhm,
judgment, fear, fear of
mhm,
rejection, right?
mhm,
So we remain unseen. You would have remained unseen if you tried to fit into somebody else's comfort. So you're right. It's that feeling when you're trying to fit into somebody else's
mhm.
limits and not expressing your expansive limits, right? We all have it, right? So
Absolutely, absolutely, and I think what's really interesting between you and I, both of us had teachers also that connected with us and said, "You're playing small." I had an art teacher, your other teacher said, you're playing small, and wow, what insight we can give our students, even if you're in the classroom, if you're a teacher listening and you're in the classroom, amazing. But also, if you're one that wants to just kind of push out of the box, it's it's possible. It's possible to not play small all the time. Yeah, you don't have to fit into what others say. You're right. You're right.
That's how you will notice. You're trying to
Mhm.
fit into someone and you feel uncomfortable and you
Right.
continue to play uncomfortable, right? And
Yes.
it's also, we can also associate with another analogy we can leave today for our audience is also like the light. You feel like your light is getting dimmer. You have to
Oh.
dim it always. Like you can't be shining. It has to
Mm.
be dimmed. And if you're playing that game of dimming, 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 you're playing small, right? That's
Yes.
another way to know.
Ooh, that's such a good point. I felt that way before I wanted to take my life, and maybe you felt that way too. I just
Yeah,
felt
I
like,
did.
yeah, like my light, we call it hope. Some people call it hope.
Mm.
I just felt very, 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 very dim, right? And it took a lot of willpower and a lot of strength to come out of that and see that nope, nope, there's a bigger plan. Yeah, good
Yeah.
point. I love that. I love that.
So, so it's really important to really see that we're actually preventing from our potential to be expanded, right? That's what we need to understand from this.
Mm,
We're keeping ourselves from expanding our potential. And I always talk about the energy, right? If you think of it in terms of energy, energy
mm,
wants to move. This potential is stored
right,
if we think of it in terms of that. So if this
right.
energy wants to expand, we need to allow it to expand so that there's a momentum. Without momentum, energy can't change from potential to kinetic energy movement, right? So
Mm,
thank you, Lori. This is amazing because
mm,
I don't.
mm.
I think I was saying earlier. I don't know if you heard the beginning of my talk, opening of this daily unblocker. I said that if playing small was an Olympic sport, I will have a gold medal. What do you think?
Well, I'd have the silver medal then. I'd have the silver,
Oh, we can compete.
except
Though. We can
I
see
do
who.
wanna say, Kohila, we had an event recently where you had us ride on a golf ball, and we got
Yeah,
to,
hit it,
what
hit
do you
it,
call hit it, I guess, hit it. I don't know what the golf term is.
swing
We
it.
gotta
I don't
bump
know.
that thing. And so I wrote playing small. I literally did. And so thank you for having me on here because I literally wrote playing small
Nice.
on my golf ball and I punted that thing. I think I went pretty far. I think I went pretty far.
Yeah.
But that's, yeah. So my Olympic sport is beating yours, perhaps,
Yeah,
because,
yeah, we have a lot of competitors now, like for this sport. This is a
yeah,
very competitive sport.
yeah,
But I definitely give myself gold medal for it, and maybe there's few gold medals we
right,
can
right,
allow
right,
with the sport. But but yes, so those are the signs. If you're fitting into someone else and feeling uncomfortable, someone else's size and feeling uncomfortable, right? That's not you're comfortable. And then also the light analogy helps a lot. Where are
I
you
love
dimming
that.
yourself so that you can stay small and fit in, right? Yeah. So I always end with this. Every day we look at one block, we take one breath, and that one breath will shift us back into flow, right? That one breath so deep that it takes me back into flow. So thank
Mm,
you, and I'll see you next time.
I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.